Yes, guys, what's happening? And welcome back to the channel and welcome to this evening's live stream for the FA Cup semi-final draw. Chelsea made it 5 semi-finals in the last 6 years by beating Middlesbrough 2-0 at the Riverside last night. Crystal Palace and Manchester City have also joined them in the hat for the semi-final draw, which will take place just before Nottingham Forest host Liverpool. Obviously, Palace beating Everton 4-0 earlier and Manchester City having a convincing 4-1 win against Southampton as well. I'm delighted to be joined by the man himself, CFC Fahim. Mate, thank you so much for joining me. Guys, make sure you check out his channel. I've linked it in the description and it's across the banner, so do head over there, subscribe to his channel, some great stuff on there. Mate, thanks for your time. Welcome to the channel. Middlesbrough game yesterday, I have to say in my match preview, I was thinking, I wasn't expecting us to lose, but I was certainly expecting it to be a lot tougher than it actually turned out to be, given the fact that Middlesbrough had knocked out, obviously, Man United and Tottenham in consecutive rounds. They're at home, one match away from Wembley. Middlesbrough don't get to Wembley very often. And the fact that we only had about 600 away supporters as well, virtually a full house of Middlesbrough fans. But in the end, it was actually quite convincing. Are you surprised at how easy it was yesterday?
Yes and no, because thank you for having me on your channel. It's the first time. I appreciate it. It's an honor. Because you know what, it was Chris Wilder that I was more afraid of, because he managed Sheffield United and almost got them to Europe. And that first season under Lampard, we drew against them, we lost against them as well. I remember those two games clearly, and Chris Wilder was the coach. He knows. I had the feeling, right, that he probably knows how to play against Chelsea, and he will set up in a way that will make it very difficult for us to play against him. But in the end, we got the early goal, which was a huge relief, to be honest. Brilliant pass from Ziyech to Mount. That pass from Ziyech was like something that we all expected him to do ever since he joined Chelsea, and brilliant cross from Mount. It was a well worked goal, actually. And then the second goal, Ziyech again. Like, we all wanted him to score goals like that at Chelsea. I think he scored a few like that outside the box, just cutting in from the wide areas, and there was a chicken zinger down the bottom corner of the net. So yeah, I'm happy with the win, because if it was like the media, the rival fans, non-rival fans even, were all against Chelsea, and they all wanted Middlesbrough to win yesterday. And the fact that we won and everyone is quiet is brilliant to see, to be honest, because everything is going against us right now.
Yeah, and I think that's what Chelsea thrive off, It's well known that apart from Chelsea fans, everyone else, media, as you said, just everyone in general wanted Chelsea to lose. We're not liked at the best of times, but particularly now, there seems to be like the level of hatred towards the club has gone up massively. In fairness, since the sanctions were announced against Roman, we're 6 wins from 6. I think we thrive in this adversity, and we're actually putting in some good performances. As I said, I thought it was going to be a tough game, but the early goal really did make a difference, and we saw Romelu Lukaku getting a rare start, really, in recent weeks, and he gets a goal. As you said, it's a great goal. I know it's a tap-in in the end, but as you said, the pass from Ziyech to Mount and then the ball in, and that's what Lukaku's good at, in the penalty box, he's decent. And I just want to bring up a stat on screen that I saw yesterday, because I actually had no idea. His goal scoring record in the FA Cup is actually very good. I'll just bring it up now. 16 goals. Since his FA Cup debut in 2012, Lukaku has scored 16 goals in the competition. Only Aguero with 20 has scored more. So obviously Lukaku has got a bit of a, obviously seems to have a bit of a love affair with the FA Cup. How important for you yesterday was it for him to get on the score sheet? Because it has been a really tricky season for him in general, and it's been a difficult last few weeks, really year since that interview. Do you think this could be a turning point potentially?
It's up to Lukaku whether that's a turning point, to be honest. Getting the goal, I thought, he would probably get 1 or 2 goals. Yesterday he got the 1 goal, which was a crucial goal, actually, scoring the opening goal. So fair play to Lukaku. I think it's up to him whether if he can step up and perform in the next few games, because by looks of it, for me, it's between Kai Havertz and Lukaku right now for the striker role, even though Kai Havertz not necessarily a striker, but we are playing that false nine role, and he is playing right now. Kai Havertz proving his point that he should be starting consistently. So Lukaku has to compete with Kai Havertz. So I think the thing with Lukaku, he needs to just not only just score goals, he needs to also do the other stuff as well that requires like pressing, and then requires like linking up play as well. I feel like maybe if he can improve that aspect of his game, then definitely he has a good chance to feature in the games coming up. But getting the goal, brilliant. I just want a bit more from him, a lot more from him, especially the fact that he's been on the bench for the past, I think, is it 6 games, 7 games. So I expect like a fresh Lukaku, and he's not been called up for the Belgium squad.
No.
So after the international break, we need to see like a fresh, hungry Lukaku ready to finish off the season on a high, actually. So that's why.
Yeah, and I think you summed it up perfectly. For me, his finishing and his goal scoring has never really been in doubt. It's, as you said, it's all the other stuff, the work off the ball. And I think defensive work rate, there's not really any. Doesn't seem to cover a lot of distance. Doesn't seem to be a lot of kind of high intensity sprints and such. It's very much, if it's on a plate for him, he'll put it in. But in terms of all round game, that's clearly why Kai Havertz is playing, because he offers a lot more overall than Lukaku does. He might not be a better finisher than Lukaku. He might not score as many goals as him, but he offers a lot more to the team than Lukaku does at the moment. So as you said, if he can add more of that to his game and still chip in with the goals, then he's going to play an important part for the rest of this season, because we've still got a lot of games coming up. The run in for the league, obviously FA Cup semi-final, hopefully final, and we've also got some important Champions League games coming up as well. So he's still going to play an important part. But I mean, I thought it was a great performance yesterday from the team as a whole. Another player who was outstanding, Thiago Silva. Apart from two games against West Brom, he's literally I can't even remember a mistake he's made in the Chelsea shirt. Literally. And the fact that he's 37 and be 38 next season, the guy's level of performance is unbelievable. I mean, every time I think, I can't get any better than this, he just keeps churning out the performances. I don't think there's a player, I don't think I'm exaggerating here, I don't think there's a player on the planet that puts in that level of performance consistently every game than Thiago Silva.
Yeah. I mean, someone said it in the chat, might have been the best transfer we've ever done, a free transfer. Like, it's actually crazy. I still think about till this day how we managed, like, everyone when we first before we brought in Thiago Silva, everyone was thinking, he's probably finished right now. His legs are gone. He won't compete in the Premier League because it's too quick for him. It's too physical for him. But actually, he's adapted really, really well. Other than the West Brom game, the 2 West Brom games, actually, he's adapted really well. And you know what? I still can't believe how old he is. He plays like he's 27. He feels like he's 10 years younger right now. And I just wish that we had him a lot earlier. He stayed. Like, imagine if we had him on, well, I don't know, Terry and Thiago Silva. That would be mad. That would be crazy. But yeah, Thiago Silva yesterday was brilliant. Composed with the ball. His defensive IQ is one of the best in the world, I would say. And he's got leadership as well. So even though if his English is not, probably, I don't know if his English is there, but he leads by example. He shows it to everyone. This is how I do it. I'm composed. Everyone stay calm, and that's what I like about Thiago Silva. He makes everyone calm and composed. And next year 38. Who knows how long he could go on for? Because I always think that when will this end? When will this end? How long can this continue? Because it doesn't continue forever, but I hope it continues.
He looks like he could just keep playing the way he plays, and I think he's dispelled the myth that I'm not sure if he can do it in a back four. We've played a back four a number of times this season, and he's not looked out of place at all. But yeah, I mean, it was a really convincing performance in the end yesterday. And before we just get your thoughts on a couple of the other ties that took place, how important is the FA Cup to you this season? I mean, for me personally, I think domestic success for Chelsea is a cornerstone of the club. We have to win trophies on a domestic level. It's great that we've been winning European trophies, Club World Cup, etc., Super Cup and all that. But ultimately, you really want to be winning domestic trophies as well. It's what you're judged on a kind of a week in, week out basis, year in, year out. And the fact of the matter is, we haven't won a domestic cup since the 2018 FA Cup when we won 1-0 against Man United under Antonio Conte. Unfortunately, we've made finals, but we've lost the last 4. The last 2 FA Cup finals, it's painful. And we lost the last 2. And the last 2 times we made the League Cup final, we lost as well. So this is really important this season to get a domestic trophy in the cabinet and to get to a final and put that sort of, habits to bed as such of losing Wembley finals, because that's 4 in a row. Like, you don't want that to start becoming a problem. So, I mean, is this for you really important this season?
Yeah, definitely. If we're not competing for the league title, I expect us to compete for the other competition, Champions League. Obviously, the Carabao Cup we lost in the final. So it's only right now. It's just the Champions League and FA Cup right now to fight for till the end of the season. So yeah, like the last 2 seasons of us being in the FA Cup final and losing it, it's just a heartbreak, man.
Should have won both those games as well.
Yeah, we should have won it, and it was down to many factors. I think it's not like we didn't play well in those finals. We played well.
Yeah.
Just some certain decisions, like referee decisions, and then yeah, there's no point talking about it because I think we all know the referees.
We know.
Yeah, the referees in this country is a joke. It's a joke. So, but yeah, I just don't want. If we reach the final, I just don't want another final loss. Otherwise, I'll probably give up with the FA Cup after that because I don't want us to lose back to back to back. That would be crazy to lose 3 times in a row. So it's important. It's important that we try in this competition because every trophy does matter. Considering the fact that Roman Abramovich is obviously leaving Chelsea. He expects trophies every year. So who knows, the next owner might not have the same sort of mentality, might not have the same sort of ambition, but it stems from us fans to obviously count every trophy as a big one. So FA Cup matters a lot to me right now.
Yeah, no, it's for me, mate. It's massively important. It has to be top of the priority list. I mean, obviously, Champions League is very important, but if we're being realistic, we've got a far better chance of winning the FA Cup than the Champions League this year.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Moving away from Chelsea, just want to get your thoughts quickly on a couple of other games. Obviously, Liverpool Forest is coming up, so we won't go into that. But obviously, Crystal Palace beating Everton 4-0 today. Patrick Vieira's got them playing well. They've got some good young players. Conor Gallagher, one of our own, having a fantastic season there. The likes of Wilfried Zaha, Elise, Edouard. Vieira's got them doing really well. And an FA Cup semi-final in his first season as Palace manager is a big achievement. I mean, were you expecting them to beat Everton that convincingly?
You know what? I didn't really, to be honest. 4-0 is a big scoreline for Crystal Palace. Lampard, to be honest, fair play to Patrick Vieira. I think many football fans did doubt whether he can do it with Palace, considering the fact that his previous job was being a manager for Nice, I think, and he didn't do that well. But it looks like he's changed his style. He changed his playing style. From the start of the season, it was more defensive. And right now, they play more expansive. It's like he's trying to get the best of all of these young players like Gallagher, Elise, Eze as well. So I'm happy for Patrick Vieira, but for Lampard, it's a very hard one for Lampard to lose 4-0 against Crystal Palace. But for me, like if we get matched up with Palace, I would never take it easy because last time we played them, we scraped that 1-0 goal from Ziyech last minute, I think it was. So the final 4 teams, final 3 for us, the 3 teams that we're going to potentially face. I mean, Man City are currently winning right now.
That's done. But they're through.
Yeah, they're through. So it's only Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to win that game. If not, then that's a brilliant. Yeah, but if they're not going to win, then that's brilliant. But I think they're winning that game. But Palace, I would never take easily. So yeah, that's all I've got to say. I feel sorry for Lampard, but I seen Lampard's interview straight after the game. He did seem a bit frustrated, but I do have certain aspects of Lampard. I feel like he needs to just take some criticism. He needs
to be honest. Like for me, he's as a defensive manager, or like the defense of his teams.
Mm.
It's awful. I know Everton have not got good players at the moment, but even at Chelsea defensively during his time there, we were terrible.
Yeah.
At the back, awful. And again, Everton, his team defensively let in so many goals. And there are aspects, as you say, that he needs to fess up and he needs to improve upon for sure. And it's going to be a difficult job. But I just feel for Everton, today looking at their lineup, I mean, it was rotated a little bit. And for Everton having such a bad season, etc., to have Crystal Palace in an FA Cup quarter-final, no disrespect to Palace, but that's a big opportunity to get to a Wembley semi-final. They just completely bottled it.
Yeah, but I feel like I think Lampard did say in his interview saying that the players need to find that confidence. They need to get that confidence that you need to. This is a game that will potentially make you go through to Wembley, but I think it's also Lampard needs to take it. Needs to accept some responsibility as well.
Yeah.
Like it's also your job to give them the confidence as well. So. That's why you're the manager. It's your job to set up your team, have a plan, make sure everyone's confident and ready for the fight. But Everton. Yeah, I worry for Everton, to be honest. Like they're very close to being relegated. So it's going to be a hard job for Lampard till the end of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough. What we got here? What time does it start? Oh, it's coming up. It's coming up very shortly. I'd say in the next probably 5 or so minutes, the draw will commence. It's definitely going to be a tough job. Obviously, City convincingly getting past Southampton. We've talked about it. Crystal Palace is obviously kind of the standout selection as such. But I mean, would you be worried for us playing City or Liverpool? I mean, we've shown that. Even in the 2 games against City this season in the Premier League, where we've not played well in either of them, we still only lost by 1 goal. It wasn't like we were we got battered. And we have proven that in knockout competitions, we can beat Manchester City. FA Cup semi-final last year, we beat them. And we also beat them, obviously, in that Champions League final. So we can beat them in big games. So I wouldn't feel that bothered about getting City. I think I'd rather have City than Liverpool, but the draw's coming up now. Robbie Fowler is is emptying the balls in. Obviously, Crystal Palace ball 1, Liverpool or Forest. Here we go. Let's have a look. Ball number 4. That looks like is Manchester City.
Yeah.
Right. Please don't be Chelsea. It's going to be Liverpool for the other one, isn't it?
Okay.
Ball 2. Okay. Yes. There we go. That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is a bit better.
It's a lot better,
It's a lot better. We take that. Chelsea obviously will be the home team as such for this semi-final at Wembley, and that's Chelsea against Crystal Palace. So that looks. I mean, obviously we still got to play the game and stuff, but a Man City potential Liverpool semi-final, that's massive. And obviously Chelsea against Crystal Palace, ties to be played April 16th and 17th. So it's not even that far away. Probably about a month today, and it's about 3-4 weeks today. That's going to be 2 great games. I mean, we're saying City against Liverpool. I mean, it'd be classic now for Forest to go and win, and it'd be Man City Forest. But I mean, that's a great draw. I mean, what are your instant reaction, mate? Happy with that, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. I think that would have been my first choice anyway. So I think what you said about City, I think Liverpool would have been my second choice for us to draw, because City, for me, they're just too good, man. They're very good, and I feel like we struggled to play against City, especially this season. We struggled, whereas Liverpool, we've not really struggled. I would say, the Carabao Cup final, we were unlucky. The game at the Bridge, we were unlucky as well, because we did miss some big chances as well. The game at Anfield, we were unlucky as well, because we got that red card. So Liverpool would have been my second choice. Man City are definitely last choice, but I'm very happy with the draw, to be honest. Crystal Palace, even though we should not underestimate any opponent right now, but you know what? I'll take it. Definitely.
Yeah, mate, it's definitely the one you want. Obviously, there are no easy semi-finals, but we could have picked the draw for ourselves. Then, I mean that's what you're picking. Chelsea, Crystal Palace at Wembley, going to be a fantastic game for sure. I mean, hopefully by then the ticketing situation's been sorted out, because currently, as it stands, like it'll be half a stadium for Palace and then the other half completely empty, like because there'll be no Chelsea
really?
fans.
I don't know how it would work, to be honest.
No, well, yeah, I don't know how it would work either. I don't think it will come to that because the FA obviously get a percentage of the gate receipts as well, so they won't want to miss out on the money. So something needs to be sorted out because you cannot have no Chelsea fans there and then just a load of Palace fans. So that does need to be sorted. But I think it's going to be two great matches. And now you've got to be thinking you'd be odds on to make a third FA Cup final in a row, and then I mean potentially from there as well. I mean Liverpool, City. I mean we think it's going to be that again. That's a massive tie, anyone's game. It'll be nice if Liverpool got to the final, just purely based on the fact for us to get some retribution from that Carabao Cup final that we shouldn't have lost. But I'd almost rather City potentially, because the thought of Liverpool potentially winning the quadruple is unbearable. So you definitely don't want that to happen. But City versus Liverpool is great. I mean, who would you fancy in that City-Liverpool semi-final if that's going to be what it is?
I don't know. They're both very difficult teams, but you said City. I would have said Liverpool, to be honest. I think the players from our side, Chelsea side, would want to get revenge on Liverpool for the Carabao Cup final loss. So whereas City, I can understand that if Liverpool win the FA Cup, the quadruple dream is definitely on for them. Yeah. So I definitely don't want to see that at all. But I don't know. It's a hard one. It's a hard one because they're both two difficult teams, and I would prefer Liverpool in the final just to get revenge. I think the players, when it comes to like finals and getting revenge, we definitely can do that. We definitely step it up to the next level because I think we love being the underdogs. We love like the fact that everyone hates us. Everyone wants us to lose. So I'd be happy. Actually, I wouldn't be happy, but I'll take Liverpool in the final.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree for sure. And to beat them be even better. There's nothing worse than when Liverpool win stuff. It's just unbearable. Media, fans, etc. And obviously, I was at the Carabao Cup final. There's nothing worse than walking out of Wembley, arch lit up in red, and you could just hear them all celebrating. Honestly, it was like the worst feeling ever. I don't want to experience that ever again. It wasn't the one. Mate, just before we round out, just quickly get your thoughts on obviously slightly off topic, the ownership. Deadline obviously closed on Friday night. There should be some more news probably coming early next week, etc. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, you got a preferred owner you'd like to have? You thought given much thought to it, or to be honest, for me, as long as they've got the club's best interests at heart and they want to win and they're in it for the right reasons, I don't really mind who it is within reason. I know like a lot of people on Twitter. I know Twitter is not the best like place to gauge reaction as such, but people going, they want the Saudis because they've got the most money. Let's be honest here. All these people have got ridiculous amounts of money. Like it's not like it's a choice between Saudi group or some guys that have got a couple of mil. We're talking billions for everyone. So for me, winning mentality, club's interest at heart, and a plan to redevelop Stamford Bridge is kind of key things for me. Other than that, I haven't really got a preference. What about yourself?
You said it, like if they've got the best interest of the club and they're willing to improve every aspect of the club, the stadium, the players, and this and that, then I don't mind which owner we get. Apparently, that we don't actually know. There's one bid that we don't actually know who it's from, and it's not been mentioned in the media yet. So that'll be interesting. I think we just have to play the patient game at this moment because there's so many conflicting reports. I just can't keep up at this moment. I'm like, which one do I listen to? Do I listen to this person? Do I listen to that person? They're all like conflicting each other. So at this moment, I wouldn't really say I have a preference on which owner we want. It's a hard one because right now it seems like it's either Todd Bowley or who's the other guy? Nick Candy.
To be honest, I don't want Nick Candy. He seems just like a bit of a snaky guy. Like I'm just for me, I just think he's in it to boost his own profile. He says all the right things, etc. But someone that's so public about it for me is red flags. If you're a serious businessman and you're gonna part with this amount of money. Like you're not constantly, you know, talking about it. You're doing it in silence, and then when something's ready to announce, you go with it. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's like, I mean, we might get an announcement of the successful bidder, or I think I've read things that said about half a dozen bids were submitted to Reign, and then they're going to perhaps narrow that down to 3, and then go from there. So we might get like the final 3 this week, maybe. But I mean, to be honest, though, I think once the successful bid is announced, then obviously the process can kick in. But I don't think a new owner, you don't just put them in place straight away. I think it does take about 4 to 6 weeks to get to actually have them fully in place. So there's still a bit of a process to go. But once that's in place, we can take all these restrictions off. Sell not tickets normally, have the club shop open, just get back to operating normally. Let's have a quick look in here. What's this? We can't lose. Oh, I'll pull that up. Candy was in a meeting on how to punish Roman with the government. I wouldn't surprise it. Nick Candy is a Tory donor. He was pictured at all those lockdown parties as well. That's for me another reason why I don't want him anywhere near us. Just can't trust the guy. He's a bit of a snaky geezer.
Exactly.
What's it? We can't lose an FA Cup final for a 3rd year in a row. Yeah, mate, Texas Blue. I agree.
It'll devastate everyone, to be honest. Every Chelsea fan. No one wants it.
It would just be unthinkable. I don't have the football history books or anything, but there can't be many teams. There can't be many teams that have got to 3 FA Cup finals in a row potentially and lost every one. I'm not going to look that up now. I might look it up later, but someone can look it up and put it in the chat. But I'd be surprised if that's ever happened before. But I mean, it's a great chance to make 3 FA Cup finals in a row, and that would be a really special achievement as well in itself. And as RD said in the chat, Tuchel has got us in every final since he's been manager. I mean, that is I know he's not been here for that long, but that is a quite phenomenal achievement. If he was to get us to the FA Cup final, which you'd have to say we'd be favourites against Crystal Palace for sure. In the short space of time he's been here, a Champions League final, 2 FA Cup finals, a League Cup final, a Club World Cup final. Like that record is quite phenomenal. I mean, in your
Super Cup, me, if you want to count the Super Cup.
I mean, for me, I see people talking about him as Chelsea's greatest manager of all time. He's not there for me yet. Jose, for me, will always be number 1, just purely for the fact, of the domestic trophies that he's brought to the club. Obviously, Tuchel's done something he couldn't do, which was win a Champions League. Fantastic. But for me, until Thomas Tuchel wins a Premier League and some domestic cups, he's still just second. I mean, how do you view what Tuchel's done? And when people, and what are your thoughts on if he's like Chelsea's greatest manager? I think people get a little bit carried away when they say that. He's not been here long enough for me.
Yeah, Tuchel, I mean, he's one of my favorite managers of all time. Yeah. Definitely one of my favorite managers of all time. This guy, he's got literally almost everything you'd want in a manager. Someone that can speak well in front of the media. Someone that can bring a winning mentality within the squad. Someone that can, I don't know, bring in youth as well. He's pretty much got a lot of things that you'd want in a manager. And I just hope that we keep him as long as possible. I do believe we can win a league title with him, definitely.
Yes,
if we give him the right resources, we give him the correct backing. And as for the greatest of all time managers, he is almost reaching a very, very close for me. Mourinho is definitely top for me, definitely top. Go our best manager of all time. But Tuchel is on course. It's definitely on course to becoming our greatest of all time manager. But I don't know, because if let's say Tuchel wins us another Champions League this season, it's quite possible.
Yeah.
Would you put him up there?
Do you know what? It's an interesting question, isn't it? Because you'd have to undoubtedly say that is probably, to win back-to-back Champions Leagues is probably the greatest achievement from any Chelsea manager. You'd have to say is that harder than winning back-to-back Premier Leagues? I don't know. It depends how you look at it, doesn't it? Because Premier League over 38 games, you've got to be so good for a long period of time. Whereas Champions League, you've got to be good for only a short condensed period. But yes, you are playing a much higher caliber of team throughout the whole thing. So it's so hard. I just think, you can look at it both ways. For me, even if he wins another Champions League, I still think he needs a Premier League title. For
Yeah,
me, he needs one.
yeah,
Chelsea need one as well. I mean,
yeah,
I do think, though, I'm not saying we would have won the league this year, but I think if we hadn't had Chilwell James injured for so long, we'd still, I'm not saying we'd be top or second, but I think we would be a lot closer and we'd still be in the race, I think, if we'd had them both fit.
yeah. And if Lukaku, if Lukaku was on form as well, I think it would have been a good chance for us. Maybe not win it, but compete at least. Like right now, Liverpool are very close to Man City right now. If we were there, I would have been happy because that means we are competing for the Premier League.
Yeah.
But right now, I think it's just third or fourth right now for us. But like someone said, Mourinho winning us Premier League back to back and doing Ferguson era is right now it's Pep's era as well. Like it's not
that
easy.
would be just as good.
Yeah, like that's also difficult to win a Premier League during Pep's era. We have to be honest. Like Pep is doing something amazing at City right now. It's his era. He's winning back to back Premier League titles as well. So, I think next season, I don't know if the expectation would be to win the Premier League.
So important next season. Not win, but we have to challenge over the course of a whole season. We have to challenge. That for me is the number one goal. You'd love to win the Champions League, but for me, we've done it now. Yeah, you'd love to do it again, but the league is the priority for me all day long now. Like we have to win. We have to put a challenge together and win that.
100%. Yeah, like it's been like since Conte, so that was 2017.
17. We haven't won it.
5 years. 5 years.
It's not just the fact it's 5 years. It's the fact that within that 5 years, we haven't even got close.
Yeah,
like
it's always been top four. Top four.
Yeah, we haven't challenged at all. I mean, ironically, last season in the league, we were still poor as well. Like we literally, I know we won the Champions League, but we only managed to come fourth on the last day because Leicester lost. So I think this season is nice that we just get this fourth place, the top four position secured as quickly as possible. So we're not stressing about that. And then we can focus on obviously FA Cup, focus on Champions League. And I still think we can have a very good season. I mean, just last question before we round out, mate. Obviously, we've won the Super Cup and the Club World Cup this year. If we were to, obviously, we'll finish top four, you would presume. If that was to be it and we were to add no more trophies, would you be happy with that as a season?
Well, so the FA Cup and the
Champions League is done. So literally, if the season finishes and we just have the Club World Cup and the Super Cup and top four in the league and add no further trophies, would you be happy with that as a season, or do you think that would be a disappointment?
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, for example, in the Champions League right now, we're in the quarterfinals. If we reach the final and lose, I still like. I wouldn't say good. It's a hard. It's a very hard. It's a good question.
Hard,
it's a good question. But if you think about it, Tuchel's not been here for that long, so he's only been here for like just a year. So we did spend a lot of money on Lukaku, and we thought that he would definitely lead us to like some sort of title, Premier League or Champions League. We'll wait and see for the Champions League, but I'll take that as a good season.
I think it is.
Yeah, good season, because you don't have many teams that can win two trophies in a season.
Yeah, and I think the fact that we've managed to do something that we'd never done before in winning the Club World Cup, that was a massive one for me. Like I know I'm disappointed we lost the Carabao final, but for me the Club World Cup was more important than the Carabao, just because one, we've never done it before, and how hard it is to get there. For me, I'd be happy with this as a season if it ended how it did, with just two more. But I think with the FA Cup, we've now got a massive opportunity. And I would be disappointed with how the season's looking now if we actually didn't end up with the FA Cup. I think that would be a disappointment for me. Let me just quickly have a look at this before we round out. The Lukaku drama and sanctions, I'd consider it good considering the circumstances. Yeah, look, circumstantially, you look at it, everything that's gone on, and that's a good point. Look at everything that's gone on off the pitch, all the drama we've had, the sanctions, the interview, the difficult December period. You have to take these things into consideration when looking at the season in context and overall. I mean, as fans, you're always greedy and you do always want more. But you look back at it, actually, I think it would be a successful season. We won the Super Cup, which we've only ever done once in our history before. And we become world champions for the first time ever. And in doing that, we won everything there is to win as a football club. So you'd have to say that would be a successful season. But now we're like kind of close to an FA Cup again. You just think when those trophies get closer, it's always a bit disappointing when perhaps it doesn't quite happen.
Yeah, I get that feeling because it happened last season. We never thought that we'd win the Champions League, to be honest. So if we did, if the fact that we lost the FA Cup, which was before Champions League, right? I thought, you know what, our season wouldn't be a good. And to be honest, last season's circumstances weren't good either. Lampard got sacked. Tuchel came in midway, so we didn't really expect much, but. Yeah, like you said, it depends. It depends. That if we reach the final and lose, it'd just be a bad feeling again. Winning and losing back to back FA Cup finals. I think that's a record, to be honest. I don't think anyone...
if that were to happen, that has to be a record. I mean, I'll have a look. I'm gonna have a look when we finish up on it. But there surely can't be many teams that have A, made 3 FA Cup finals in a row, and B, potentially lost them all. But that seemed like a good point to round out. Guys, thanks so much for getting involved in the chat. I appreciate all your comments. Great support as always. Thank you very much. Please make sure you smash a like on this video, and please do click that subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're watching it now, you're not subscribed, make sure you are. It really helps me out. Heading towards 400 subscribers, so please help me get there as quickly as possible. Fahim, thank you so much for your time, mate. Really appreciate it. Great to have you on. Guys, check out his YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. I've got it on the banner and it's linked in the description as well. So click on that. Subscribe to his channel. Some great stuff coming out. Chelsea will play Crystal Palace in the FA Cup semi-final next month. And Manchester City will take on the winners of Nottingham Forest and Liverpool in the other semi-final. So it looks like the Blues could be heading to a third FA Cup final in a row. And hopefully it will be third time lucky. As I said, Fahim, thank you very much for your time. Guys, from myself, we'll catch you again in the next couple of days with an ownership update, and a new episode of the podcast is dropping next week with a great guest. So make sure you come back and check that one out. Until then, up the Chelsea. Thanks for your support.